Hello everyone, welcome to Talking Reds, and this is your Premier League predictions for this week, and a very, very special episode as well, Stu. It is the FA Cup final between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. Who is going to win at Wembley and add silverware to their cabinet? Is it going to be Man City, who's constantly winning every single season, or is it finally going to be Crystal Palace, which would be a nice fairy tale to end the season right? But yeah, we're going to go over the Premier League fixtures, who our scores predicting in those games. Maybe a couple of talks about FPL, a little bit on players maybe to put in your FPLs, because 6 p.m. deadline tonight, so I'm trying to get this out before 6 p.m. tonight. So 6 p.m. deadline for FPLs. Me and Stu will try to give you our tips for those players, and we'll also give our score predictions for the weekend. I will leave the FA Cup to the end along with the Liverpool game. I always leave the Liverpool game to the last, and more in-depth Liverpool game analysis tomorrow for the preview, so make sure you tune into that. So yeah, this is our Premier League predictions. Let's start with tonight's games then. Tonight to Tuesday. What a weird Premier League weekend, Stu. What a weird Premier League weekend from tonight all the way to Tuesday. Aston Villa Tottenham to kick us off tonight. Aston Villa Tottenham 7:30 kickoff. Where's your prediction in that game?
I can't see past Villa on that one. I mean, the fact that Spurs have just lost their three most creative midfielders for the rest of the season, and the fact that their form is utterly abysmal, I know that's not going to help matters in the slightest. And Villa seems to be on a bit of an upward trajectory, so I'm going probably along the lines of like a 3-0 or a 4-1 to Villa for this one. I can't see Spurs getting into it. And the way Villa are playing at the moment, I think they'll give them a good thrashing.
I think both Man United and Man United and Tottenham have both given up on the league completely. I think I remember through the league ages ago.
Yeah,
and with the European final just around the corner, I can't see anything like you. I can't really say anything but a Villa win. Villa have really been pushing for that Champions League place. I think they can get the Champions League place.
Yep.
What's the table now? Let's get the
table.
Sixth,
they are on 63 points, level with Chelsea.
That is a crazy top 5 battle. I absolutely love it. It's about time we had something like this elsewhere.
Seventh to second, anybody could get that. 7th to 2nd, from Forest to Arsenal, anybody could get that top 5. That is crazy.
That's absolutely mad. You know what? And Forest have just absolutely blown it, haven't they, the last couple of games? Brentford at home and Leicester at home, 1 point.
Yeah.
It's simply not good enough. Yeah, but the Aston Villa game potentially tonight, Aston Villa is certainly my tip for tonight. Definitely, absolutely. Yeah. Can I see it being a 4-1, 5-1, 4-1, 3-1? You said, didn't you?
But I'd say either 3-0 or 4-1, round about that. I think there's going to be at least 3 goals in it.
It could be. I just don't. Villa aren't being really free scoring. That's the issue with them. I know it's Tottenham.
Yeah. I'm sticking with a 3. I
might just go standard 2-0 then. I might just go standard 2-0 for Aston Villa. I think I will pretty much say get some. If you've got any Villa players in your FPLs, maybe Rodgers, get him in, because I think there's potential for, like Stu thinks there's going to be goals. I think there's going to be at least 2. There could be 3. And so anyone attacking players for Villa, maybe even get a defender in for Villa if you think they can get a clean sheet. But Tottenham have always got capabilities of getting a goal. They've got the players to do that. So, I'm going to say 2-0 Villa for that game. Chelsea, Manchester United, just as I said there, Chelsea fighting for top 5. Man United are pretty much from the Premier League. Is it the same?
Man, Chelsea are just too unpredictable.
They're odd, aren't they?
They're really, really odd side to try and predict. I mean, I'd go pretty safely for a Chelsea win at home, but I don't think it's going to be like a massive scoreline. 2-1, maybe, something like that. But like you say, Chelsea are going for those Champions League spots, so they need it more than anything else. Whereas Man United, they can't go anywhere with it. So, yeah, I think 2-1 Chelsea.
I mean, they play really well against us. I thought I know people say it on the beach and stuff like that, but I think we really want to. Slot wants to get results in these games. They don't want to just lose them and throw them away. No. I thought Chelsea played really good against us. I thought second half last week against Newcastle, I thought they played quite well with 10 men.
Yeah.
They were unlucky not to get a result out of that. Also conceding late on as well to go 2-0 down. They've got something to play for. That's the thing with Chelsea. Again, like you said, they're a weird team. They should be doing
so unpredictable this season.
Way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the
2-1.
Amorim has given up though.
Oh, God, yeah. Without a doubt.
Is a big major thing. And does he rest players again, Amorim? He has been doing.
Trying to keep as many fit for the Europa League final, which is midweek, isn't it?
Is it this week?
Is it midweek? I can't remember.
You're asking me now. I thought it'd be the week after. It is midweek. You are absolutely right. It is absolutely midweek. Yeah, that's even more so than Chelsea winning.
Yeah.
He's not even playing one player.
It's going to be Villa and Chelsea all day long because both teams are going to rest players for that, without a doubt.
You know what? I might even think go 3-0 Villa now. Maybe 4-0 Villa.
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with 2-0 Villa, but I'm going to go. I think Chelsea can score a few goals against them.
Looking at that now, and I'm just remembering that, I think I'm probably going to change it to, again, probably like a 3-0 or a 3-1 for Chelsea.
I'm going to go 3-0 Chelsea. I'm going to go 3-0 Chelsea. No Jackson tonight, so it probably maybe Nkunku. Liverpool target now has come out. Nkunku up front, potentially.
Along with a multitude of rumours.
Maybe Neto up front. I'm trying to think who they would play up front. Probably Sancho, Palmer, Madueke. I'm going to go. I think they'll play Neto up front.
Really?
So again, FPL sides.
Mm.
Palmer's expensive. I'd be looking at for FPL's guys. Just as a cheap shout, Madueke. He shoots a lot. And I think against United, I think he could bag one if Anna's in net. Whoever's in net for Man United, they're all terrible out there. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 Chelsea. What are you going?
I'll go the same 3-0.
3-0 Chelsea. Yeah. Right, on to tomorrow then. Everton against Southampton. Is that tomorrow, isn't it?
Sunday.
It is Sunday, yes. It's just all messed up, this, isn't it? Everton, Southampton is the early kickoff. I think it's on TNT Sports.
Last one at Goodison.
It is. It is. I want to make it special. I think they will make it special.
Yeah, I mean, I think for that, again, I think the occasion's probably going to play into that factor a hell of a lot. Will Southampton want to go out and try and spoil the party? Of course they will, but I still think Everton will edge it 2-1.
I think the way Everton have been playing, I mean, who did they beat last week? They got a good result last week, didn't they? Was it? I want to say Fulham, Brighton away. No. Was it away? Fulham away. I thought so. Yeah, Fulham away.
Yeah.
Fulham away they beat last week, and that was a very, very good result. Better on the score sheet again. Better for FPLs, by the way. If I've got a lot of change to do before 6 o'clock today, my FPL. Yeah, better is certainly a tip for this weekend for that because Southampton are they're really bad, aren't they?
They're horrendous. Utterly horrendous.
Did you see him celebrating last week? Not being the worst Premier League side ever. They were like tagging Derby, and it's like that's embarrassing.
There are things that you shouldn't do as a club, and that is bait other clubs out because you're playing shit. It's nothing to be proud of at all.
It was like, sorry, Derby, we got your hopes up or something like that.
It's like, really, that's your flex on it? We're no longer going to be the crappiest Premier League team in history, but you're the second worst. So
I don't know how I'd be. That's a fan, I'd be pissed. I would be pissed if I saw that. If that was Liverpool flexing that, and I was a Southampton fan, I would be so annoyed. I'm already annoyed at the season already, but to flex that is, it's just weird. It's really weird. I found it really
weird stuff nowadays. We really do, but that is a strange one. But as I say, either way, I think obviously being Goodison and all that, Everton are going to win it. But I can't see too many goals flying around because they're just not high-scoring teams. So I'm going to go 2-1 for that.
I'm going to go 3-0. I've got all nil so far. What am I doing here? 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0 because scoring 3 away to Fulham is not an easy task at all. We found how hard it is away to Fulham. They got 3 goals. I think Southampton are pretty much on their old days. I mean, they're celebrating now. They're not worst Premier League side ever, so they're probably on their old days. Everton want to make it special. I think they will make it special tomorrow, and end it right. West Ham, Nottingham Forest. West Ham, right? I have a big bugbear with them. I had them to come top half of the season this season. With the signings they made, they made some good signings. They've still got a very, very good team.
This is how much you shouldn't trust my predictions because I actually had them as an outside chance for Champions League qualification. I thought their signings were that good in the summer.
They were good, yeah.
That they would hit the ground running and they'd get up there, at least into the European spots. How bloody wrong was I on that one?
Well, both thought it was similar. Well, I didn't think Champions League. but
outside chance. I said outside chance.
Half, but they have basically, we're both saying they've underperformed massively.
Mm-hmm. Hugely underperformed. But on the flip side of that, Nottingham Forest have overperformed.
Yep.
This season. Nobody expected them to be up in the European spots at all, let alone the Champions League spots. And obviously they have slipped over the last couple of weeks with a couple of results not going their way. This game was quite an interesting one because West Ham, even though they don't have too much to play for besides pride, they'll even admit it's been a poor season for them. They'll want to do well at home for the last couple of fixtures of the season. And they did well last week, beating Man United at Old Trafford. I mean, okay, that's not saying a lot, but even still. But Forest, they've slipped. They're in 7th, but they're still only a couple of points out of those Champions League spots. So again, they're going to want to come at it all guns blazing to try and get those 3 points. I'm going to go 3-3.
That's a prediction. That is a prediction. That I can see it though. I can see it. I don't think I predicted myself, but I can see it. I just think, Forest have just absolutely messed it up. Home to Brentford, home to Leicester with 1 point coming out of those two is an absolute joke for me.
Especially Leicester. That is a...
they didn't even score against Brentford either. I thought that was a shocker.
Leicester are just as bad as Southampton this season, and to draw at home, that is not a good result for them at all. I think that the legs
ahead as well. They went 2-1 up, and then that is.
I think the legs have just gone. I don't think, because their squad hasn't been the biggest in the Premier League, and they've had to rely on pretty much the same players all the way through the season. They have been a little bit lucky with injuries, but I just think the energy levels are starting to drop, and that's where they're struggling because they don't have that depth to back up the likes of, say, Hudson-Odoi or Gibbs-White. There's not really a relative replacement for them if they need to rest them. And I think that's why they've started slipping off a little bit over the last few weeks. It's just taken its toll, unfortunately. That's the Premier League in general.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that both the teams where they are in the leagues are probably swapped over from where we thought we were going to be.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that's an accurate statement as you can make.
West Ham Forest, I can see goals. I can certainly see goals. 3-3 is a big, big call. I'm going to go. I think Forest take it, I think Forest win 2-1. Huh? I just think they need to bounce back immediately from that. Again, West Ham's got a good team, haven't they? I can't say that easily. Forest win 2-1 because of the way they are. I think West Ham in a false position in terms of the team they've got.
Yeah.
But I think the way Forest have to go for it, I think they might get it over the line. And plus Chelsea winning tonight, all the pressure's on them on Sunday.
The only thing that works in West Ham's favour is even looking at the form over the last 5-6 games, they're virtually identical to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with my 3-3.
I'll go 2-1 on Forest then. So onto Brentford, Fulham, also on Sunday as well.
London derby. Brentford are on some decent form. They're pushing for the Europa League spots. At the end of the day, mathematically, if they win the last 2 games, they make 62 points. They could still get a Europa League spot. They've won the last 4 games. Fulham have dropped off again. They've lost 4 in their last 6. I can't see past Brentford on this one. I'm probably going to go 2-1 for this.
Brentford in 8th now. They're in 8th now. They have really pushed high up because they were bottom half for a long, long time.
They were.
At one point, they actually looked like they could potentially go down by their home form. The home form kept them everywhere. But Brentford 8th place. Way too far behind Forest, obviously, for the place. 7 points behind Forest. But to go above Brighton, Bournemouth and Fulham is a big achievement for Brentford.
Yeah, it's huge, especially considering how they run the club, and they do it through, for all intents and purposes, a Moneyball system, where obviously they buy low, sell high, very similar to the way Brighton do it. And it's actually quite nice to see the likes of Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton and Brentford all hammering it out around those positions, because one of those teams next season probably only need a couple of like sort of real quality additions, and they could be pushing again top 4 spots.
Yeah,
quite easily.
yeah.
So yeah, again, I'm going to go Brentford for tomorrow. I think 2-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I do think Fulham score. They've got, again, talented players. Smith Rowe. It will be. I'm always saying it will be every single week about getting into your FPLs. I think he's always got something up his sleeve. But yeah, Brentford 2-1 and Mbeumo, Wissa, whichever one you want to pick really in terms of your goal scorers, because Shard as well. Shard, in fact, for FPL, Shard is on fire recently.
Yeah, Kevin Sharder is on form at the moment.
Yeah, so maybe him as a backup shout, but I would still personally tip Mbeumo or Wissa.
Yeah,
Nearly Mbeumo for me. So Leicester, Ipswich.
the most
Game
pointless
of the weekend.
weekend.
Game of the weekend. Leicester against Ipswich.
I mean, it's Vardy's 500th game, and I can't help but see the headlines or a picture of Vardy just doing something real shithouse and scoring his 200th goal for Leicester before he leaves. I kind of got a feeling that Leicester are going to do it.
If Vardy actually scores right and scores the winner, it would be one of the most magical written careers to say how late he left his career.
Yeah.
To end like that, 500. Is it
500
200 goal?
appearances.
It would be his 200th goal.
It would be his 200th goal as well. So
that's crazy,
Yeah. 500 games for Leicester. Oh, he's on 499, so it'll be 500 tomorrow. He's on 199 goals. Scores, gets his 200th. That's what I don't know. I kind of got a feeling that Leicester are going to nick it tomorrow. 2-0, 2-1 again, something like that.
This way, whoever wins celebrates it like Southampton celebrated coming off the bottom, not being Derby County, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pointless celebration. You're celebrating mediocrity. But, again, yeah, Leicester have been at home, home game of the season. Vardy, they want to send him on high, retiring at the end of the season.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think Leicester myself.
The way football's written sometimes, that links to a Leicester win. But I don't think that good either. I'm trying to help them here. If it weren't for the Vardy situation and the Shakespeare thing, then I would predict an Ipswich win. But I'm going to go a draw. I'm going to go 2-2.
Right.
2-2 draw. I think Vardy might score. He can have his 200th goal, but he won't have his win to go with it. I just think Leicester are shit.
Yeah.
And I think Ipswich are a better team. I
think overall, yeah, they are. I don't know. I kind of got a feeling that the atmosphere is going to be just that little bit extra for them tomorrow. So we'll see. But
right, the biggest game of the weekend. I just said Leicester, Ipswich. The next biggest game of the weekend, maybe it could be the biggest. The battle for second, Arsenal, Newcastle.
Oh God, yeah,
the battle for the worst, the first losers.
Right, I know what I want out of this, and
if Arsenal don't finish second, it's long for them.
I want Newcastle to win this.
Yeah, I do.
Just to see the look on Arteta's face, because they don't, and all of the Arsenal fans who have been constantly nipping at the Liverpool fans all season, saying, "Oh, we're going to catch you. We're going to catch you. Our team's the best." Blah blah
They're not worried about Liverpool being top. 7 points clear.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. We'll reel them back in, and you can't even finish second. Oh, that's gonna be some nice banter to keep hold of. And to be fair, actually, I would like to see Newcastle finish up there.
Eddie Howe deserves it, I was speaking about Eddie Howe last night about Manager of the Year, and Eddie Howe was obviously on the nominations.
Yeah,
he was very much doubted by a lot of people saying, "Look, he can't take him to that next level now. Now he's gotten to that level." I think they had a little bit of a doubt.
I was one of them. I was doubtful that he could take that leap.
And this season, Champions League football, pretty much Champions League football. I think now pretty much confirmed. Potential second, and a Carabao.
The result tomorrow. That's guaranteed. Yeah, I think that if they get a result tomorrow, that'll guarantee them Champions League football. Admittedly, that'll probably kibosh any prospective deal for Isak.
I don't even think that makes a difference for FSG. We're going to pay it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. I think if I've always said it all along. If Newcastle get Champions League football, Isak isn't going to go anywhere. Why would he?
Yeah.
Scores wise,
well, prediction.
3-2 Newcastle. It's a ballsy one.
It
But
is. You've got
Isaac,
two ball ones.
and the fact they don't have Gabriel, since they lost Gabriel, Arsenal have been a lot weaker in defence. Whether they like to admit it or not, they haven't been the same unit defensively without Gabriel. Saliba has looked a little bit lost at times. With Isaac up front, they're going to have their hands full. So, yeah, 3-2 Newcastle. I think it's going to be a bit of a ding-dong, this one.
I think Arsenal are a very good team. I've got to be honest, right? I have this conversation every week about Arsenal, and they showed last week how good they actually are. I think they controlled the game against us, and I think they're very, very overlooked in how good they actually are. I think they get put down a lot to how good they are. Yes, they should be. This was their season really to go win the league. They didn't do. They have had a bit of a luck, but it's mainly on Arteta and not addressing that striker position as well in terms of the board. But I think they are a good team. I can't see them. Can't see them losing Newcastle. I'm going to go 2-2 in that. I'm going to go 2-2. Bit similar to last week with us and Arsenal and so I think they control the game, but again, they haven't really got an Isak. So that's why I think Newcastle will get something out of it because they have got an Isak. Going on to Tuesday, so there's 2 games Tuesday. Crystal Palace against Wolves. Crystal Palace. Is that Tuesday? Even though they're playing the FA Cup final.
Yeah, because obviously they play the FA Cup final on Saturday.
So Tuesday.
Play Wolves on the Tuesday.
So we're predicting 2 Man City games and 2 Crystal Palace games this weekend.
Well, Palace versus Wolves is a bit of a non-entity fixture. There's nothing really to play for. Both teams are safe. In fact, Crystal Palace comfortably so.
You don't know how the game's going to go tomorrow, even in the FA Cup final, because
they could get a couple of injuries or whatever. So that's a tough one. 1-1 for me.
I'm going to agree with that. Man City, Bournemouth, same day.
Again, looking at the table, Bournemouth, they get the 10th. If they pick up maximum points, which is obviously going to be their target, could end up putting them in 8th. A very outside chance of potentially getting the Conference League spot. So they do still have something to play for. Whereas Man City obviously do as well to secure that Champions League spot. 2-2.
I'm going to go 3-1 City. I think they've switched it up a little bit. Southampton are shockingly bad, but I do think they have to win, and I think because they have to win, I think they do win. So 3-1 City for me. Then we'll go on to the FA Cup final. Crystal Palace, Man City. We just predicted Crystal Palace and Man City games, but let's predict another one. Crystal Palace, Man City, FA Cup final. What is your prediction for that, Stu?
Well, we know City's record in the FA Cup over the last 5-6 years. And they won was it 4 or 5 in the last?
Yeah, something like that. Something ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't know. The way City's form has been, and yes, okay, they're going into the final. They know how to manage the finals. I get that. A little sneaking suspicion that Palace are going to nick it. I don't know. Just something in the back of my mind thinking maybe if they just take a couple of their chances, calm the nerves in the first 10 minutes, I think they could. Well, they could easily do it. On the day, oh God, I'm going to go Palace 2-1.
I'm going to go Palace in all, Not just for the fairy tale, not just because it's FA Cup final, not because of the magic of the cup. I just think the way City play against Southampton, if they play anything like that again, Crystal Palace absolutely take advantage of that.
Let's not forget the fact that Palace almost went 3-0 up at half-time at City not too long ago.
Palace are a bogey team for City as well. I remember when we were going in those title runs with Man City, Palace was a big reason. Who was it the one that scored that absolute worldie against them? Was it Redmond or was it Punch? I can't think who it was.
I can't remember which one. Yeah, I know which one you saw. I can't remember who it was.
They beat them. And every time we're going in title races with City, it was Palace. That was a big Palace and Tottenham. That was getting points off them when we needed them.
Palace screwed us over enough times.
And I think Palace are going to get that cup they deserve. Yeah, absolutely. And the job that they're doing there at Palace is, I think it's fantastic. They've got some incredible players, and I think City will probably dominate the ball, but I just think Palace has just got those players that can just change a game. Eze specifically, for that. So our game Monday night. Brighton, Liverpool.
Down
You
on the
see
south
all week.
coast.
Brighton are basically in Liverpool, basically in Dubai, Ibiza, wherever they want in the world right now.
I think they're on the way back from Dubai today.
I don't know if they'll make it in time. If I'm honest, I don't even know if they might have a game on FIFA with them.
Oh yeah, well we'll stick Jota on that because he's pretty good on FIFA. Predictions? What? God, that's a tough one. But I want us to see out the last 2 games with 2 wins.
I do.
So I'm hoping that Slot's got him G'd up a little bit, even though there's nothing at stake. 2-1 to us.
I'm going to go 2-2 again. I think it's 2-2 last week in the last Liverpool game. I just think Brighton, they're still trying to fight for that European place if they get conference.
Exactly. So they do have something to play for.
Yeah. So I just think being at home, Brighton's always a tricky place to go. I think it could be another 2-2. But yeah, if you want more of analysis, more of an in-depth talk about Brighton and Liverpool, join us. In fact, join us Sunday. It might be Sunday night the preview because it is Monday, isn't it? So
yeah,
Sunday night probably for the match preview between Liverpool and Brighton. So thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you get your predictions in the chat as well, in the comments. Thank you for watching. Make sure you do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and get your notification bells on as well. And we will speak to you all very, very soon.